All right, so we're going to start on one of the arc molds today. So this is a MDF mold for a wing assembly. So first thing we can tell from it is about how thick it is. If we grab that, so this is going to be 2 sheets MDF. So we will have to worry about one bond line. It looks like we'll intersect it pretty low down in the mold, so it shouldn't be a big issue. So first thing we're going to want to do on this is we don't know what size sheet we're cutting this out of or around what other molds. So we're going to box in these edges. Pretty straightforward thing to do, just like you would with any other CAD. We'll just grab it. We'll just put a simple rectangle already aligned on it. Then we'll extrude it out about 2 inches, which will give us some area on the edge. So this is going to make it easier when we go to set up our operations, and we want to ensure that it doesn't try and make an entry from the side. Obviously, that would not be ideal for us. So with all of that done, we'll go ahead and make our second solid body. So I'm just going to convert entities on this guy, and we'll just go ahead and extrude up to next. Or we'll just do up to surface and grab that backside. We're going to undo merge result. That way we end up with 2 separate solid bodies. I'm going to go ahead and hide my second solid body. And now we have an object we're ready to machine. So I've asked Arrow what they need already as far as how much usable mold. Right now you can see we have about 40 inches. The actual part is going to be shorter, and when we go in here and we cut this out with the scallop, we're going to end up with a bit of an edge on either side of unusable area. So we need to make sure that we ask and account for that in our initial creation of the mold. So now with our mold ready, we're going to create a job just like we would for any other part. We know from this machine Z is up, X is forward and back, and Y is to the left and right if you're standing at the operating console. It's easy enough to change this once you're down there, just something you need to be conscious of. So we'll go ahead and set up our stock as from solid. We'll grab that other body we set up. Then we'll go in here and change up our stock orientation. We'll just should be able to change our front plane to be the top of it. And then we're going to go ahead and use bottom corner 1 as our setup. So I like to use the bottom corner, that way we can offset just off that MDF that's screwed down to the or particle board to the machine. And even if our mold is off slightly, we're going to end up not digging into the machine. For my mind, it makes it a little bit safer to run. If you have any trouble with that, just switch it up to the top and measure with a tape measure. It's no big deal. So with our job created, we're going to dive right in. For MDF molds, it's a pretty simple process. We're going to start with a 3D contour, and then we're going to wrap up with a scallop. So we'll go ahead and start our 3D adaptive. We have Mill Tools MDF in here. This is already going to have the tools we have down there. Obviously, if you add some to it, for example, last time we were running down there, I used a 1-inch end mill that was real stubby. I had to add that to the library. So we'll grab tool 4 for our flat. 500 inches a minute. It's a little in the mid part. I'm going to bump that up to 800 just so we have the option to up it when we're down there. A step over 0.3, we try and keep it in that 20% range, so that's not bad at all. Once again, if we have any issues, we'll maneuver around. And we're going to keep on our stock to leave, that way we don't end up with any issues. So I'm just going to let it be, and we'll see what it generates. I'll probably go back and end up editing the step down if it has us doing too many steps in here. So that's not bad. It looks like it has us doing 3 steps though instead of 2. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it, and for our step down, I'm going to allow a 0.7, and that should cover all of it in. We might back that off back to the 0.5. That's gonna end up slowing me down a lot, which I don't want to do. So I backed it off to the 0.5 now. While that guy loads, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the scallop. We'll select the surface we're working with. We're gonna change our tool out. We'll grab that ball and mill. We're gonna look in here, and that's a bit much for my liking. We'll go for a 50 thou step over. We'll hit OK on that, and we'll see what that guy comes out looking like. Let's check our adaptive real quick while we're looking at it. So we have a ramp in, we have it taking a pretty nice size step, then taking a really small step. So that is not bad at all. Take a look at our scallop. You can already see here from these lines that we're gonna have an edge. That scallop looks pretty right. So now what we can do is we can run these individually. So we'll stock sim our top one. Pretty happy with the result. Gets us down nice and far. And we'll go ahead and run our full job. That way we can get a good look. So we got a nice surface in there. The areas we care about, we've got pretty well. We know we're sacrificing the edge in this corner. So we'll go ahead and take that and let that be. If we're pushing it on stock size, we might have to actually be careful about how much we have on the edges. But that should be about it. And this guy is ready for post. I'll split that into a second video. That way we can monitor, or we can take a deeper dive into actually posting this and then editing it from there.